And a very good Monday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again, the Oda Pain Podcast, Monday, April 21st, 2025. The Joe Benigno Oda Pain Podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company, by Needed Discount Tire, and, of course, by Manscaped. Very busy week. A lot of things going on in the sports world. We'll get to everything. Before we do that, number one, let me just tell you this. There is never like when we set up to do this on Mondays and Fridays, it's never smooth. I just want to tell you. It's never sit down, let's go. Absolutely not. So we just want to tell you that right now. It is always a pain in the rear end getting off the ground here. But we did. So that's good. I hope everybody had a great Easter. Of course, the passing of the Pope. Can't say I was the biggest fan of his. Let's see where the Catholic Church goes from here. Okay, very big week, as I said, as far as the sports is concerned. We'll start with the Mets, okay? And we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the red-hot Mets, the Knicks going for a 2-0 lead tonight against the Pistons at the Garden in Game 2 of the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Rangers firing the head coach. What a surprise. It's like death and taxes and the Rangers firing head coach. And then, of course, the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. And let me tell you, as a Met fan, I'm delirious. You're a Met fan, you're delirious today. I mean, come on. They just come off a sweep of the Cardinals. They sweep them 4 straight games. First time since 1986 that they've swept the Cardinals 4 games. Unbelievable. And we all remember that 1986 sweep, which also was in April, and remember was in St. Louis, and remember the tone was set for the season that year. The Cardinals had won the pennant the year before, and the Mets smacked them in that 4-game series in St. Louis. That big home run that Howard Johnson hit, I think it was off Littell. Wasn't it off Mark Littell? I think it was. That won that game for the Mets, and they went from there and really never looked back on their way to 108 wins in a world championship. So the first time in 39 years, the Mets sweep the Cardinals 4, and let's hope that's a portent of things to come, and maybe the Mets will wind up winning a World Series again. But I tell you right now, 15-7, they are unconscious. 9-1 at home. I mean, and they haven't even hit on all cylinders yet. I mean, it's just now this week that we're seeing Juan Soto start to look like Juan Soto. And give the Met fans credit. How great have the crowds been at Citi Field? I mean, this is the most electric that I have seen for the Met fans since going back to 85 when Doc pitched at Shea Stadium. Because those days, that 85 season when Doc was on the mound was like a happening. And now the same thing is happening at Citi Field every night. 40,000 again yesterday. And then Friday night with Soto struggling, and the crowd was, you could hear the murmurs in the crowd. They really weren't booing Soto, but you could hear the murmurs starting to, every time he grounded into a double play or hit a slow roll at a second base or whatever he did. It started Friday night. He got a standing ovation when he came to the plate with a runner at second and wound up getting a big RBI single. Since then, I think he's 5 for 10 with 3 RBIs. He had that big 2-run double yesterday to seal the win for the Mets, 7-4 over St. Louis. Soto hasn't even really started to hit yet. And here the Mets are 15-7 with a 2-game lead in the division as they get ready to play Philadelphia now, 3 at Citi Field. The Phillies 2 games behind them. Unbelievable. Pete Alonso's been unconscious. How great has Alonso been? I mean, right now, he's the MVP in the National League. I know we're only 22 games into the season. He's been unbelievable. And let's be honest, and I said this on the radio show, this guy was so disrespected, not only by the Mets, but by all of Major League Baseball when nobody was signing him. All you heard was the nonsense coming from the media. What a surprise. He's a one-dimensional player. He's too old. At 30 years old, you can't give him a long-term contract. He's not that good defensively. All this bullshit about Pete, right? And now, thank God we signed him. And I'll tell you right now, Uncle Stevie, get ready because you are going to be signing a big freaking check for Pete Alonso. And he is off and running, and how sweet it is. And I'm going to say this too. For all those Met fans out there that were like, maybe we got Soto, we can live without Alonso, maybe he's not that good. Yeah, okay, stick it up your ass, okay? And that's exactly what Pete is doing to everybody who doubted him. How freaking great. Alonso right now is the MVP. It's 22 games. There's nobody having a better year than him right now in the National League. And thank God for that. Unbelievable. It's such a joke, the nonsense that we heard about Pete Alonso. And Uncle Stevie, get ready to give this guy at least a 3-year deal. And I don't know how many $100 million you're going to be giving him, but you're going to be doing it. So get ready for that. Thank God the Mets re-signed Alonso. But if you're a Met fan, man, I'm telling you, I am delirious. I mean, like every game, I just expect to win, right? I mean, you're a Met fan right now, just expect to win. And how great is the pitching? Oh, my God. For all the issues that I may have with the boy wonder, David Stearns, right? So one thing, man, this guy, I'll tell you, he knows how to recognize the pitching. Look at what's going on with this rotation. Clay Holmes, another stellar outing yesterday. Tyler McGill, he's been okay, better than we thought he would be. Sanga's looked really good. Peterson has looked good. Even Griffin Canning with his 60 ERA last year. God, he looks good. The bullpen has been unbelievable. Can't say enough about the bullpen. Really, every guy in it, from Barbizon to Stanek to Kranick, go right on down the line. Every one of these guys. Minter, Buto, obviously Diaz. I mean, the bullpen has been unbelievable. So you're a Met fan right now. You're dazed and crazed. It's been so damn good. And a couple things as Jeff McNeil and Francisco Alvarez get ready to make their return. Number one, to me, when McNeil comes back, it's a no-brainer. I mean, let's be honest about it. It's a no-brainer. Beatty goes, Acuna stays. Luis Angel Acuna has to be on this team. And I'll tell you right now, if it was up to me, Acuna would be the second baseman every day. Now, I know Vientos is a little banged up. I mean, we'll see if he's back in the lineup tonight against the Phillies. But, and he started suddenly to hit a couple home runs in the series against the Cardinals and all of that. So maybe he's finally off the snide. Luis Angel Acuna, when Jeff McNeil comes back, okay, and I love Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback with the Jets. We'll get to that. Tyrod Taylor. I like him a lot. Got a couple big hits in the game yesterday, but he's the fourth outfielder. When McNeil comes back, here's my outfield. McNeil in left, Nimmo in center, Soto in right. Acuna is the everyday second baseman. This guy makes stuff happen. He's fast. I think he's got 6 stolen bases already. Yesterday, hit a little flare ground ball toward third base. The third base, Arenado didn't play yesterday. I don't know why. The third baseman didn't make the play. The ball rolls out into the outfield. Acuna gets a double. Unbelievable. He's got to be on the team. So when McNeil's back, and as far as Alvarez, I would share the catching duties between Alvarez and Torrens because Torrens has to play. And as far as I'm concerned, you can't run on Luis Torrens. I mean, he's gotten big hits, but you can't run on him. He's every throw he makes, even if he doesn't throw the runner out, is right there. So when McNeil comes back, McNeil to me goes to left field, and Acuna goes to second base every day. And see you, Brett Beatty. That's it. That's the way it's got to go as far as I'm concerned. When that happens, and then when Alvarez comes back, he shares the catching duties with Torrens. You want Alvarez to catch 4 days a week and Torrens 3, that's fine. But Torrens has got to play. Tyrod Taylor is the fourth outfielder, and let's go. Who says no? So I'm thrilled, and I love the manager, Mendoza, and Uncle Stevie, and all of that. I mean, right now, what a great time to be a Met fan. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm delirious with how good this baseball team has been. And let's hope that we just continue going from here. All right. As far as the Knicks are concerned, I was a little worried coming into this series that the Pistons were going to give the Knicks a real tough series. I don't know now. After watching the game one, and watching Detroit, who looked in control of the game. They had an 8-point lead at the end of the third quarter. You were concerned at that point as a Knicks fan that maybe they could lose this game, and we've documented over and over again that if the Knicks lose the first game of a best of 7 at home, they never win. 0-6 lifetime if that happens, but we don't have to worry about that now because they're probably, even if they win this series, which they will, they're not going to have home court advantage again in the rest of the playoffs. Round 2, when they play the Celtics, which will happen, as Boston beat Orlando yesterday, they'll probably sweep them. So, but I was worried that this might be a long series. I don't know about that now. I mean, Detroit looked every bit like a young, up-and-coming team that had never been to the playoffs before when that fourth quarter started and the Knicks went by them like they were standing still. I mean, that 21-0 run, Campaign leading the way. How about him off the bench? 14 points. How many big threes did he hit? And I thought the Knicks defense, and look, Brunson was great, 34 points, all the big shots in the fourth quarter. We all know how good he is, no doubt about it. But I thought one of the keys to the win on Saturday night was the defense. How good? And I've been all over Karl Anthony Towns defensively. He's soft. He's there. Bob McAdoo and all of that. McAdoo's probably better. But nevertheless, he was good. How many big plays defensively did Karl Anthony Towns make in this game? Blocking shots, taking the ball away. He had a couple steals, all of that. So let me give him, I've been on him, let me give him some credit for the kind of defense that he played the other night in game 1. And right now, maybe this is going to be, maybe, I don't think the Knicks will sweep them. They probably won't. But I could see a 5-game series now. I could see that. I think the Knicks, I expect the Knicks to win tonight. And I would, maybe the Pistons will win a game in Detroit. But I don't think it's going to go much farther than that. You could really, I think the fourth quarter on Saturday really exposed the difference in experience between these two teams. An experienced playoff team like the Knicks are, and a team that had never been, basically every guy on the team. I mean, a couple guys have been there. You got veteran guys like Dennis Schroeder and Hardaway Jr., the old Nick and all of that. So they got some experienced guys on this team, Malik Beasley. But, basically a team, obviously their biggest player, Cade Cunningham, and had never been in the playoffs before, and they did a real good job on him. So I really feel pretty good that the Knicks are on their way to winning this series pretty easily. And really, let's be honest about it, Knicks fans. The playoffs don't really start until round 2 with the Celtics. And that's really what we're going to find out about this Knicks team. So, but game 2 tonight at the Garden, got to feel pretty good about it, no doubt about it. And I think the Knicks, like I said, I thought this would be a 7-game series before the series started. And after just seeing what happened in the fourth quarter the other night, maybe I don't think that anymore. I think the Knicks will come out and get it done here again tonight. Like to see a little more from Mikal Bridges, who really did very little in this game the other day, I guess because Payne was so red hot. Josh Hart was in early foul trouble. Then he had a big second half of the game. He wound up with a 13, 7, and 6 on the night. Brunson did hurt his ankle a little bit, but came back in and was great, as he always is, with the money money on the line. And as I said, Karl Anthony Towns, give him credit. Not only did he go for 23 and 12, I think, but he also played terrific defense. So I got to see more of that as we go forward. So game 2 tonight at the Garden, the Knicks and the Pistons, the Knicks leading the series 1-0. And as I said, I fully expect that they will win again tonight. All right, well, before we get to the Peter Laviolette firing and the disastrous draft coming up for the Jets, I'm so down on the Jets. Let's get the sponsors in here. We'll let you know when the next live podcast at the Hackensack Brewing Company will be sometime in July. We'll let you know when that is. Now, if you need work done on your car, you know where to go. Anita Discount Tire, Rivervale, New Jersey. Speaking of Rivervale, we're playing Rivervale, the golf course on Thursday. I'm pumped up. The weather is going to change after today. Still a little cool today, and then the rest of the week is in the 70s, which is just stellar, as I would say. But you need work done on your car. You need tires. You need your car inspected. Go see Johnny, Ari, the Homish Booker over there at Anita Discount Tire. They'll take care of you. Tell them Benigno sent you. Again, Westwood Avenue, Rivervale, New Jersey. We were there last week. Finally, we had an issue with our every time we opened our car door, because we got an old Jeep that's got like 150,000 miles on it. The key fob wasn't working, so we had to actually use the little key in the key fob to open the door. And every time we did, the alarm would go off. And this was an issue. And we have somebody in our complex that actually complained about it. I won't mention this person's name, but nevertheless, so we finally got this thing finished. Okay, finally got taken care of. Johnny and one of the great mechanics, Rob, got the new key fob program that got it done. So it's like a new world opening the car up. So if you need any kind of things done with your car, like I said, tires, any work, inspection, I need a discount tire. Rivervale, New Jersey, Westwood Avenue. Tell them Benigno sent you. And last but not least, our good friends, I love them at Manscaped. And we've mentioned this a few times. April is National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. There's nothing worse than that. Thank God that we've been very fortunate in our family to not have any issues along that way. But it's a terrible thing. There's no doubt about it. And I want to take a second and talk about men's health issues. They're important to me and really everybody. And how about Manscaped? They're putting action behind their words and donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society to help save lives and promote routine self-checks. And they just dropped a special edition bundle that helps support this amazing cause. Excuse me. The TCS Ball Hero Bundle. It includes my favorite piece from Manscaped, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the TCS Special Edition, the Special Edition TCS, that is TCS Boxers 2.0. Join the over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and put the code word in PAIN for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. You know about the 5.0 Ultra Lawnmower. Keeps everything nice and beautiful down below. Gives you the illusion of extra inches, which is certainly a good thing. We all love extra inches, even if it's only illusion. We're all over that. You want to take care of that. They got the boxers. I've told you how long have I told you about the underwear here? Not just the boxers, but the other kind of briefs that I wear all the time when I play golf. It's great. They keep your balls in place. I love them. You also got the Manscaped shampoo and conditioner, which is just makes you smell good, you look good, you feel good. You can even use it as a body wash. Tremendous stuff. I can't say enough about Manscaped and the job they do. So check out the bundle, the special edition TCS Lawnmower 5.0, the whole deal over there, the Ultra TCS Special Edition, and the TCS Boxers 2.0. Again, use the code PAIN, PAIN, and you get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Is there anything better when you cough and it kind of starts going through your nose after you cough? Isn't that a great thing? Good. Unbelievable. Anyway, checked out Manscaped. And again, tell them Benigno sent you. All right. It was inevitable that the Rangers were firing Peter Laviolette. You knew it was going to happen. The Rangers now will be going on their third coach in the last 5 years. And since 2012, let's see, we had Tortorella, Vigneault, Quinn, Gallant, and Laviolette. So this is going to be their sixth coach in the last 13 years. I mean, they change coaches. It's worse than the Jets. And they've been a far more successful franchise than the Jets, not this past year, obviously. But it's unbelievable. And I've screamed about this, and it makes me crazy. How is it that Chris Drury is still the general manager of this team? Can somebody tell me that? Does he have pictures of Jim Dolan or what? Because how the hell is this guy still the GM? He destroyed this team this year. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want. He pulled the rug right out from under this team this year when he basically announced that he's trading everybody. He got rid of Barkley, Goodrow, the whole deal. I can't stand the guy. And the fact that he is getting to pick a third coach in 5 years, are you freaking kidding me? I'm disgusted. If you're a Ranger fan, you're disgusted. And you know that this team's going to look a lot different next year. There's no doubt about it. We'll see the guys that are going to be gone when all is said and done. We'll see the kind of moves Drury makes. Let's see who the coach is going to be. I know he wants Mike Sullivan, who's still the head coach of the Penguins, who I guess is like his butt buddy, Drury. So, he wants him. You've heard a couple other names mentioned. This guy who's the head coach of Denver, University of Denver. I've heard his name mentioned. I forget what his name is. A couple other guys that are Rick Tocchet. I've heard his name. Bunch of different. Who knows who the head coach is going to be? I'll say this. Whoever gets the head coaching job for the Rangers, get ready to be looking for a new job in 3 years. All right? And the MO lately, just look at what Gerard. All right, let's just look at Gallant and Laviolette. Gallant takes the Rangers to the conference finals his first year. They lose. The second year, they get knocked out in a first-round 7-game series by the Devils, and they fire him. Laviolette wins the President's Cup his first year, takes the Rangers all the way to the conference finals where they lose. This time they lose to the Panthers, right? The next year, they don't even make the playoffs. The rug gets pulled out from under them. What a disaster, and he's gone. Who's next? Like I said, as I say when I talk about the Jet coaches with Glenn and Muhay, right, the coach and GM, if whoever the next Ranger coach is, do himself a favor. Rent, don't buy. Because you're going to be probably gone too. So, what a disaster. I'm sure the Rangers are going to look like a different team next year. Who knows about Kreider? Who knows about Zibanejad? Who knows about anybody on this team anymore? Any of the veteran guys, Lafreniere, who had a terrible year, Keandre Miller, who had a terrible year. We could go on and on. The defense stunk, as we know. How many times did you watch the Rangers over this past year, and see the puck just stay in the Rangers zone forever, right? Terrible. How many giveaways in front of the net, especially by Miller, right? Keandre Miller. Terrible. What happened to the power play? Last year, the power play was lethal. Last year, the power play was money. This year, the power play was dead in the water. Unbelievable. And I want to say this, too, about one of my all-time favorite Rangers, Chris Kreider, because I'm sure he's going to be gone at the end of the year. He's been a Ranger for 13 years. He's one of the all-time great Rangers. You can say whatever you want about this guy. This guy's done a lot of winning, okay? A lot of winning that he's done over the years. Well, he's 34, whatever he is. It's going to happen. But I fully expect it. My wife not happy about it, but neither am I, but still. But here's the bottom line. This guy's done a lot of winning over the years. He's been to the conference finals 5 times, went to the Stanley Cup finals in 2014, right? He's the all-time Ranger leader in playoff goals. He's third all-time in goals, period, as a Ranger, only behind Roger Bear and John Rattel, who are both in the Hall of Fame and both have their numbers in the rafters, right? He's tied all-time for power play goals with Camille Henry in the history of the franchise. He's got to be right up there. I don't know if he has the record for most Rangers shorthanded goals, but he's up there. He actually had 4 this year. Rangers led the NHL. The one thing they led the NHL in this year was shorthanded goals. I think they had like 17, right? They were actually most effective when they were shorthanded. They were better than when they were on the power play. But anyway, Kreider's one of the all-time Rangers. Only Roger Bear has more 20-goal seasons than Kreider. Gilbert had 12. Kreider had 10. He belongs in the rafters. I'm sorry. He's an all-time great Ranger. If you're going to, all these other guys that are up there, let's be honest, Kreider did a lot more winning than them. Outside of the 4 guys who were up there that won the Cup, Messier and Graves and Richter and Leach, outside of those 4 guys, everybody else up there, nobody won a Cup up there. Gilbert never won a Cup. Hatfield never won a Cup. Rattel never won a Cup. Harry Howell, Andy Bathgate, Eddie Giacomin, Henrik Lundqvist, none of them won a Cup. Kreider should be up there. Let's be honest. Number 20, when all is said and done, should be in the rafters. Now, as I say that, before we put Kreider up there, isn't it time to put Brad Parks number 2 up there? We got a couple number 9s with Graves and Batgate. Maybe it's time we have a couple number 2s with Park and Leach. Because when Brad Park played with the Rangers back in the late 60s, early 70s, he was the second best defenseman in hockey behind probably the greatest defenseman of all time in Bobby Orr. And they did a lot of winning that team. The goal again, the gag line team with Rattel, Gilbert, and Hatfield, all of that. So Brad Park's got to be up in the rafters too at some point, doesn't he? And I know he wound up playing more games with Boston than the Rangers after that terrible trade with the Bruins. But, isn't it time that they put him up there? Certainly is in my mind. And one other thing about Kreider, too. Only 4 guys in the history of the Rangers scored 50 goals. Kreider's one of them. Vic Hadfield, Jaromir Yaga, who has the record with 54, Adam Graves, and Chris Kreider. He's got the credentials to be up in the spoke ceiling. And let's hope that they put him up there. I'd be surprised. I don't think he's coming back next year. I mean, even he had a terrible year this year. He really did. And he was hurt and all of that. And even with all that, he still had 22 goals. Even in a terrible year, he still wound up scoring 22 goals. So, I think he belongs up in the rafters. I really, really, really do. So, and I got a feeling he's gone at the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe he'll retire. He's had back issues. I don't know. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see him just be a Ranger for his whole career. Yep. But let's see how it plays out. But anyway, Peter Laviolette gone, and God be with the guy who's coming in next. And tell me again, how the hell does Chris Drury survive this? Unfreaking believable. All right, Benigno, the Yoda Pain podcast. Now we go to the football team. We're covering all my teams here, right? We go from the jubilation of the Mets, right? The expectation of the Knicks, the disaster of the Rangers, and now we go even to a lower depth. Now we drop to the New York Jets. So the draft is Thursday, Lambeau Field in Green Bay, right? And by the way, I know Kenny Scarabaggio's coming back. He had a 2-week vacation in Spain, and he traveled Italy, and I think he saw the Pope before he passed. There was rumors that Kenny might stay, especially now after the Pope passed, that he might be in line. So, I mean, that could happen, but nevertheless. So I just want to point that out. Can he be a good Pope? He's been, we all know that he follows all the rules of the church. So, but anyway, Kenny's going to Lambeau. Only Kenny would go for 2 weeks to freaking Europe, get off the damn plane. He's still there. Get off the plane tonight in wherever he's flying into, probably Newark, right? And then 2 days later, can't wait to get on another plane and go to freaking Green Bay. Unbelievable. Anyway, the draft in Lambeau on Thursday, I'm sure that'll be kind of cool, I guess. But the Jets have the 7th pick in the draft, and all I'm hearing now, okay, we had Brian Costello on the radio show Saturday. All I'm hearing now is that the Jets are going to draft this tackle out of Missouri, this right tackle. Are you serious? Are you kidding? We have like no skill, but we have one wide receiver. We don't have a tight end. We certainly need help on defense. On the defensive line, we could use another linebacker. We need help in the secondary. Not that we want to draft a kicker with the first pick, but God knows we need a kicker after the disaster that Zerline was last year. And this team's going to draft a right tackle? I'm seriously. I mean, what are we going to run? Now, we already have a quarterback that can't throw the ball. So what are we going to do? We're going to run the triple option? We're going to run the wishbone? Is that what we're doing? We're going to run the wildcat? With all these running backs we got, Breece Hall, Isaiah Davis, the other kid, Allen, with all these running backs we got, and with a quarterback who's basically a running back, is that what we're going to do? It's going to be like Oklahoma in 1970? Alabama, in 1973? I mean, is this what we're doing? We're going to run the goddamn triple option? What a disgrace. And I want a quarterback. And I've said this over, and it won't happen because, these guys, these brilliant freaking guys that, starting with a great owner who's just a disaster. But anyway, really? I've said this repeatedly. If Shedeur Sanders, everybody says he's fallen now, and again, I've said this a million times, you're telling me that if Shedeur Sanders is there with the 3rd pick in the draft, the Giants aren't taking him? I don't buy that for a second. But I would take him if he's sitting there at 7. I'd take Jackson Dart at 7. We need a quarterback. I don't want a freaking right tackle. Really? I know we lost Morgan Moses. Come on. This is what we're going to draft in the first round? And I know you need an offensive line. But 2 years in a row, we're going to draft an offensive tackle? Come on. I'm telling you, man, I have no confidence in all. I was okay with Aaron Glenn being the head coach of this team only because he was such a very good player, even though he had no head coaching experience ever. And I felt that was paramount to the next Jet head coach. But I'm down on him, too. I mean, really. This is what we're going to draft, the right goddamn tackle? Let's hope that this tackle is taken before, that happens. Look, I would much rather have this defensive lineman from Michigan, much rather have him. I'd much rather have the tight end from Penn State, maybe even his wide receiver from Arizona. But I don't want a tackle? Come on. Unbelievable. Even a linebacker. Maybe one of these linebackers from Georgia. Can we do that? Nah. Let's draft the right tackle. What a disgrace. The Jets are such a goddamn disgrace. And how about this stuff with Rodgers, too? I mean, can you believe this is so jet-like? This is so jet-like. So you're telling me Aaron Rodgers, who wanted to come back to the Jets, flies cross-country. I understand he's got a private jet, probably owns a jet, for all we know. He flies cross-country to have a meeting with Glenn. He gets this Florham Park. Glenn comes out for 2 minutes, says, we're not interested in bringing you back, walks out of the room, and that's the end of it. Really? What? You don't even pick this guy's brain about the team? You don't even do that? This is why this franchise never freaking wins. This is why they're the worst franchise in sports in North America. They have no idea what they're doing. They never have. Now, I hope I'm wrong about Glenn, but why should I have confidence? Tell me why. Why should I be confident in this franchise? They need a young franchise quarterback, and they're not going to draft one. Maybe in the second round, I don't know. Don't even count on that. But a right tackle? Come on. Unbelievable. I'm so down, really. I'm so disgusted. And then with this BS they pulled with Rodgers, they should have kept Rodgers for another year. Maybe they would have had a chance to have a decent season. You would have kept maybe Devontae Adams as well, because only the Jets can just dump Hall of Famers like nothing because they've won so much. They've been such a damn successful franchise over the years. Of course. Unbelievable. I am so down on them. I really am. So I have never been as down on the Jets as I am now. And we had Costello on the other day, and he said he's heard it from a lot of different Jet fans that this is the lowest of the lows. This is worse than the 70s, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's terrible. 5 straight years with double-digit losses. Get ready to see the 6th in a row. They haven't made the playoffs since 2015. That's going on 10 years. We all know about the 6-decade drought without a Super Bowl appearance. Haven't had a winning season in 9 years. I mean, it's unbelievable. They go through coaches left and right? How many goddamn coaches now have we seen since Rex, right? Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, Robert Saleh, and now we got Aaron Glenn. It's unbelievable. And I got no confidence. Why should I? This team should be drafting a quarterback. They need a young franchise quarterback. Justin Fields is not going to be the answer. They gave him a 2-year deal. Does anybody think Justin Fields is the quarterback of this team in 3 years? Does anybody think Aaron Glenn is the coach of this team in 5 years? I'm becoming indifferent in a lot of ways to the Jets. That's my team. I'll watch every game. I'll root for them. I'll be a diehard to the end. But I am so goddamn disgusted with this franchise. They are so poorly run. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. This latest thing, and I know everybody hates Rodgers. The media hates him. Everybody hates him, right? They were basically, it was basically oral sex when he got here. Okay? Oh, Ron, oh. Then it starts. Then the crap, everything with the hard knocks, they're all pumped up. Then the injury happens, right? And then the disaster of last year with they fired it. Woody fires the head coach after 5 games. The kicker can't make a kick. The defense is a disaster. Ulbrich is way over his head as the head coach of the team. And they blame Rodgers for everything. For everything. I am so freaking sick and tired of the BS with this franchise. Go take a right tackle. Go ahead. And what do you think? You're drafting Chris Ward? Is that what you think you're going to do? That the next Chris Ward is going to be this? I don't even know this guy's name. Some tackle from Missouri. I'm telling you, we're going to run the option because we can't throw the ball. You think Garrett Wilson was bitching last year about not getting the ball? He caught over 100 passes last year and he was complaining. Yeah, get ready to catch 50 this year. I mean, really, I know your buddy's going to be throwing the ball to you, Justin Fields, but come on. No other wide receiver on the team. No tight end anymore. Conklin's gone. They're going to run a wishbone. And they got a quarterback that can't throw. Let's be honest. The backup is better. Tyrod Taylor's better than Justin Fields. I'm sorry. He's better. You know? Justin Fields could run. That's it. So get ready, Jet fans, for the triple option and the Wildcat. That's going to be our new offense with this disastrous Jet team. Let's hope that somebody, and I don't know who it would be, somebody takes this tackle from Missouri before the Jets pick. Let's hope so. Like I said, you want to take I want a quarterback, but okay, we'll take that out of the mix. You want to draft this kid from Michigan, defensive tackle? God knows we need one. I'm good. You want to draft a tight end from Penn State? I'm good. You want to draft a wide receiver from Arizona? I'm good. I am not good drafting another offensive freaking tackle. Like I said, I know they lost Morgan Moses to the Patriots. And by the way, Jet fans, you know the Patriots are on their way back. They got Mike Vrabel as head coach. They got a young quarterback in this kid, Drake May. They got the 4th pick in the draft. They're getting one of these big players. All right? If the 2 quarterbacks are gone, all right? If the 2 quarterbacks are gone, we know Cam Ward's going to the Titans at 1. If Sanders goes, like I think he would, to the Giants at 3, if Cleveland's stupid enough not to take him, because what a disaster they are. You know, the Cleveland Browns are like, the one thing that they're very happy about is that the Jets are in the same league as them, because if they weren't, there's nobody worse than Cleveland, okay? So if Cleveland doesn't take a quarterback with 2, right? But again, let's say Cleveland takes, either way, Sanders goes to Cleveland or he goes to the Giants. Then if that's the case, then the Patriots are guaranteed to get either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. The Patriots are going to be good again soon. The Patriots will be good a lot quicker than the Jets are. Take it to the bank. All right, I've had enough. Everybody have a great week. Enjoy it. The weather's changing now. Be playing some golf this week. Like I said, we're playing Rivervale on Thursday. Playing tomorrow again at one of my favorite little 9-hole course, Orchard Hills. I actually played yesterday I got my first ever Easter Sunday birdie yesterday at Orchard Hills. Very happy about that. Only my 2nd of the year, but whatever. But everybody have a great week. God bless America. All the love, everybody. Let's go Mets. Let's go Knicks. I'll talk to you on Friday.